Hi everybody and welcome back to the 75th season of Bearcat Update. I'm your host Jason Holland and today we'll be updating you on how the seasons are looking for our fall sports. From football and soccer to volleyball and cheerleading and everything in between. Cue the intro. The football team took on Missouri Southern in one of the hottest games of the year, with temperatures reaching upwards of 100 degrees on the field. But with hot weather comes more rotation in the depth chart, and that certainly showed, as junior quarterback Chris Runke connected with three different receivers for touchdowns in the 59-0 blowout win over the Lions. Sophomore quarterback Henry Martin added on to the fun with a late touchdown to senior wide receiver Jamar Simpson. Shane Fredrickson also helped out the offense with a touchdown of his own coming in the form of a pick six. You can expect to see many more wins from the boys in green if the defense plays like they did in this one. The Bearcats play at home next weekend against tough division rival in Emporia State. Kickoff is at 1:30. On the topic of football, our beloved producer Killian Beck is adding his insight and football knowledge into Bearcat Update this semester. Let us know what you think in the comments section down below. Take it away, Killian.
The Northwest football team is known for many things, but first among them is consistency. Over the last 28 years, all the Bearcats have done is win, unlike nearly any other program at any level of the NCAA. The Bearcats have managed a winning season every year. This streak of 28 consecutive winning seasons is currently the longest running in Division II, starting back in 1995 when Mel Churchma revitalized an 0-11 team to a 6-5 turnaround. During Churchma's reign, he managed 3 national championships and a total record of 183-43. Coach Churchma was the man who created the championship swagger that is prevalent in today's Bearcats.
It's now over 100 yards. Oliver dropped it. Ball is loose at the 12-yard line. Recovered by Northwest Missouri State, and they win it.
But the winning tradition didn't stop when Churchma retired in 2010. It stayed alive as Coach Adam Dorrell manned the ship for 6 years. In his short stint, he managed to create a dynasty, winning 3 national championships in 4 seasons. Coach Dorrell cemented himself in the upper echelon of not only Bearcat coaches and players, but among the best in NCAA history. This era of Bearcat football may have been when they were the most feared, as the program took the momentum from Churchma and propelled the program to a new level. This leads us to the coach who has kept up the winning ways after Dorrell stepped away following back-to-back perfect seasons in 2015 and 2016. Former defensive coordinator Rich Wright has held the position since 2017 and has led the Bearcats to a record of 59-17. The Bearcats have managed such a high level of winning due to the focus on team-oriented style that prioritizes the needs of many over the needs of the one. Northwest has dominated not only the MIAA, but also Division II, with 6 national championships, 19 MIAA crowns, and an overall record of 303-68. As of late, we aren't guaranteed much in life, but among those are death, taxes, and a winning year from the Bearcats. From Bearcat Update, I'm Killian Beck, and I'll catch you on the flip side.
But if you think the football team is starting to get the ball rolling, then prepare to be excited as the Bearcat volleyball team moved their win streak to 4 after a 3-1 victory over Winona State yesterday. The ladies battled hard and put the Warriors away with a 25-20 win in a nearly flawless fourth set, which included 14 kills and 1 attack error on 32 attacks. This wasn't the only dominant game of the week for the volleyball girls, as they recorded 19 team blocks in the win against Upper Iowa the day before, which ranks as the 4th most highest single match total in program history. Senior Abby Brunson led the way with 15 of those 19 blocks coming from her alone. The team will open their home season in MIAA play on Friday at 6 against the Washburn Ichabods in Bearcat Arena. One of the Bearcat Update members followed the volleyball team this week to give us more of an in-depth look on what it takes to be a Bearcat volleyball player. Over to you, Zach.
Hello everyone, The time has come for the Northwest Missouri State volleyball team to shine, as MIAA play is right around the corner. The season ended last year with a 15-4 record, as all eyes are on head coach Amy Worth. Worth ended last season as the winningest coach in Northwest history, hitting the 200 victory mark and looking to go far in this year's MIAA scene. This year, with the help of a new assistant coach. Nick Sepulveda is new on Northwest's volleyball scene after 2 years of being a graduate assistant at William Penn University for their men's team. Sepulveda helped the Statesmen to a national semifinal as well as a Heart of America Conference title, topping it all off as an opposite at Judson University for 4 years. He has to fight right alongside Amy Worth and the rest of the Northwest volleyball team, and they're right behind him as well.
I would say it's definitely a little bit different being on the men's side, now going to the women's side. But it's been really good so far, at least with working with the girls, trying to gain their respect and try to make sure that I do the right things for them. As a coach, you're just always trying to make sure that they're going to be successful, not just on the court, but off the court as well. So I take a lot of pride in that. So as far as the adjustment stuff, it was a lot in the beginning, but now it's gotten a lot easier.
Sepulveda has been a great addition to the roster, as his knowledge of both power-heavy men's volleyball and strategy-sided women's volleyball is an invaluable asset to any team.
Yeah, man, just I hope you'll enjoy what you see. We're going to keep getting better, and we support everyone. We love that they all come out and watch us, and we can't wait to see our first home game, what it's going to look like.
The Bearcats will be opening their MIAA play by playing their home opener on the 27th against the Washburn Ichabods, and back on the 28th playing against the Emporia State Hornets. The Northwest volleyball team has added extra pieces and are getting ready for their first game in front of a home crowd at Bearcat Arena, hoping for an outstanding ovation. Now, that's all the time we have for today. We'll be back next week as we recap opening day for Northwest volleyball. My name's Zac Scott, and I'm bringing it back to you, Jason.
The soccer team had a busy week taking on the number 15th ranked Minnesota State and Augustana. Junior goalkeeper Lily Ellis was crucial in the Sunday afternoon duel with the ranked Mavericks, as she accounted for 7 saves in the 0-0 tie. After being outplayed in several key stats by the Augustana Vikings on Wednesday, the grit and determination from the team kept them tied until the 70th minute when senior defensive man Emily Yackel stepped up and knocked down a lengthy free kick to help the Bearcats to a 1-0 victory against the Northmen. The ladies travel 45 minutes down Highway 71 to take on the Griffins this Wednesday. Make sure to tune in. Hey, it's halftime. If you like what you see, make sure to like and subscribe and click the bell to be the first to know when we post new content. But as we head into our first break of the show, make sure to stick around to catch our first meeting with the cheer team. We'll be right back.
Running since 1971, broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Featuring programs and news from National Public Radio, as well as Americana, jazz, and classical music. KXCV 90.5 FM Maryville, KNRW 88.9 FM Chillicothe.
Television connects. We put our heart and soul into delivering a quality broadcast just for you. Whether it's sports, community events, and much more, we have fun bringing these events to you. KNWT Live brings that feeling of being at Northwest anywhere you go. So join us in the experience.
Welcome back to Bearcat Update. Our reporter Jake Walker sat down with one of his teammates on the cheer team so you can get to know them and their story. Take it away, Jake.
Welcome back to Meet the Cheer Team. To kick off the semester, we're taking a look at one of our vets this week.
My name's Emma Yetter. I'm a social media management major. This is my 3rd year on the team, and I'm a flyer.
After spending a year at community college, Emma decided to make the jump to Northwest.
Our Originally, when I came to Northwest, I wanted to be a marine biologist, and they had a marine biology major here, and in past, Northwest has had a really good cheer team. One of the alumni used to teach at my high school, and so he actually taught me to co-ed stunt, and then he kind of pushed me in the direction of coming to Northwest.
Emma is one of the few athletes that has gone through the transition between coaches during her time at Northwest.
We obviously have a new coach this year. A lot of the team is different. I think we have more rookies than vets on the team this year. Overall, things have kind of stayed the same, the way that the team has always been a family. We've always rallied around each other. We really bring each other up when it comes to practice, games, workouts, things like that. I think the people have changed, but overall, the atmosphere is pretty much the same.
Since the start of her Northwest career 3 years ago, Emma has made friendships that will last a lifetime.
I've been really close with a lot of my teammates, obviously you and a lot of the other guys. We became really close. I'd say that's a really good friendship that I've built. I'd say I have lifelong friends with those guys. I think overall the team atmosphere is pretty nice. I think we're all relatively close. Obviously, you have people who are closer to each other than with others, but I think we get along pretty well.
With 1 year left until college is over, Emma shares some words of advice for any future Bearcats.
I'd say definitely keep up with the social medias. We really post when our stunt clinics and when our tryouts are going to be on there. I'd say keep up with your skills, definitely tumbling, stretching, getting as many stunts as you can, being versatile. We have a few different girls that could be able to base and fly. We have girls that can back and base. It's really good to be versatile, being thrown in multiple different positions, and definitely having a good positive attitude.
That's all the time we have with the cheer team. We're going to swing this one back over to your host. Take it away, Jason.
Thanks, Jake. The women's tennis team got after it this weekend after a trip to Edmond, Oklahoma. The team competed in the ITA regionals as they looked to sharpen their skills ahead of an arduous spring season. In the third of 4 series they'll play in the fall, they left with some high points in the case of the B series doubles and singles. Despite a shortened day for the A series, the team will have another series on October 13th in Rome, Georgia in the ITA Nationals. In other news, the golf team was able to capitalize on their road trip to Brule, Nebraska in the Battle at the Bayside. Despite a 2nd of 8th finish, the star of the show was senior Madeline Schlepfa as she took home a 2nd place finish. Paige Hoffman also added in her 18th top 10 finish of her career, putting her tied at 3rd in Northwest history. They'll begin another road trip to Nebraska as they compete in the MIAA Preview tomorrow. Now, football and volleyball and all other organized sports at Northwest are fun and all, but they're not the only sports that happen on campus. Any student watching this right now can join in the fun of any of the handful of organized intramurals that the university provides. Our Bearcat crew member Reece talks about these intramurals in his new series segment, Fastest Recap.
Welcome to the Fastest Recap of Intramural Sports. I'm your host, Reece Hill. Today we have a quintuple header of men's softball as 10 teams jockey for playoff positioning. Unfortunately, we don't have any footage from the first game where the Bear Catholics secured a 17-12 win over Buddy James. Second game of the day, coming off a 21-run loss, Diddy's Ballers were looking to bounce back and beat the allegations that they can't play ball. Their opponent, Uzma Kappa, jumped out to an early lead with a 2 RBI hit and never looked back. Diddy's Ballers gave their best effort, but struggled to break through the defense. Uzma Kappa controlled the game throughout, prevailing 14-3. Moving on to a clash of undefeated squads, the Master Batters and Trice Bombs both looked to carry momentum into the playoffs. Impressive defensive play highlighted this matchup, but the Master Batters were able to get their offense rolling just in time to earn a tightly contested 10-6 win. From defense to offense, the Bats came alive early for the Lighthouse and the Living Legends. The lead would change hands multiple times, but communication issues, over-aggressive base running, and defensive lapses late in the game put the Lighthouse in a hole they were unable to rally from. Living Legends win 18-10. Last game of the night, the Degenerate Gamblers versus the Lime Squad. The Degenerate Gamblers found some early success with a couple runs batted in, but pushed their luck too much and found themselves caught in a pickle. At the end of the night, the house always wins, and the Degenerate Gamblers get sent home empty-handed, falling to the Lime Squad 15-2. Heading into the playoffs on Monday, 2 teams remain undefeated while others are looking for answers to try and put together a Cinderella run. That's all we have for this week. Comment down below what intramural sports you would like to see covered in future editions. Taking it back to you, Jason.
Thanks, Reece. Welcome back to BCU with the X. I'm Wiley Ray, and we're about to take a quick break. Stick around as we go in depth on the Bearcats football game on Saturday. We'll be right back.
KZLX is a student-run radio station where Northwest students have complete freedom during their shifts. KZLX also hosts many radio shows such as Nermageddon, Revive, Day-to-Day Picks, and more. To learn more, visit kzlxfm.com.
Are you tired of the same boring old TV? Tired of watching the same recycled content? Then try Gen 2! Gen 2 is your favorite place for all things gaming and tech related. Come check out our wide variety of games and reviews, catch the latest in gaming and tech news. And if you call right now for the low price of $0 down, you will even get 7 free, yes free, of our very own handcrafted shows and stories for your viewing pleasure. Don't miss out and call now to get the entire Gen 2 package for free. Gen 2, the full package just for you.
Welcome back to Bearcat Update with the X. I'm Wiley Ray, and with me is Jackson Phelps here this season. Jackson, we're going to kick things off quick and simple. You had the experience of going with Bearcat Radio Network to Joplin, Missouri for the Northwest Missouri Southern game yesterday. How was that game like? Just talk to me about that.
You know, honestly, Wiley, it was really cool to just be in the environment. It was an away game. Like we've talked about, it got over 100 degrees on the field. It was hot. But amidst the heat, Bearcat Nation still showed out, and I was super happy to see, the fans, getting loud and rowdy. The sidelines were loud and rowdy the whole game. And just to see the boys, get off to such a fast start and such a dominant win, 59-0, was honestly super cool to see.
And you talked about the heat, the energy, and Jackson, that game was full of energy if you were the Bearcat fans or even just the team, to say the least. Bearcats got the win, 59-0, and from the get-go, it was very dominant. Mm-hmm. And you look at that, and it started out with Chris Runke finding a passing touchdown for the Bearcats, and quickly they got the ball back, and it was a dominating performance for Northwest.
That first drive, it was only 3 plays to Eric Richardson. When that touchdown pass happened, the whole bench, it was erupted. It was so cool to see the boys get started so fast, because that's been the talk of the year, is are we going to be able to start fast and get on the board early, because that's ultimately what's been our biggest struggle, and why I think we've let some games slip away from us is just because we haven't started the game fast. And just to see a touchdown happen in 3 plays, I had a good feeling that this game probably will go really good for us.
Yeah, and you talk about that quick execution, those 3 plays, 69 yards. Eric Richardson, a 68-yard touchdown reception from Runke, and then 5:56 mark of the first quarter, 11 plays, 58 yards, and almost a 5-minute drive for the Bearcats. And when you just kind of look at that drive within itself, we saw that last week at the home win against Fort Hays State, and the Bearcats really just finding that groove on offense lately.
You're talking about that groove on offense, and I can totally agree with that. The boys, some drives happen quicker than others, like you said, a 3-play, but then an 11-play, methodically driving the ball down the field, eating up time on the clock as much as they could. A lot of media timeouts happened in the field, so the game felt slower than it should have, but I will say, they moved the ball effortlessly. Runke looked so poised inside of the pocket. The offensive line showed up whenever they needed to. The past couple games, offensive line, that's been another talk, is are they going to be able to improve, and they looked really good. Runke didn't get pressured as much as he did in the past, so I was super happy to see that Runke was making some good throws, and I was, happy to see that, he was looking good.
As we're at the 5th game mark of the season, and you kind of just look at how the Bearcats have been competing, who's your MVP right now? I'll give it Jaden Brady. Mm-hmm. Stellar performance by Jaden Brady, really starting to find his stride this season for the Bearcats.
I'm going to say Jaden Brady so far that last game, him and Eric Richardson both. But I would say Jaden Brady definitely held the run game, to a stand. He managed the game so well, keeping the clock moving, and ended up getting a score in the end zone. So Jaden Brady has been a dominant force for the offensive side. And for the defensive side, I have Shane Fredrickson from last game. He had a 55-yard pick 6. It was awesome to see the bench erupt after that, just to see a defensive touchdown. And he also made some pretty big plays down the field, great tackles. And he's been probably one of the biggest leaders on the defensive side this whole entire year.
Yeah, you look at that defense, and one of the big names that pop up is Shane Fredrickson himself. And right now, if you're Northwest Missouri State and you look at both sides of the ball and you see those two people on your team, you're definitely in the right spot. And as we move forward to next Saturday, family weekend, it'll be the Bearcats taking on ranked Emporia State in Jackson. That's going to be a great game for Bearcat Stadium and for Bearcat faithful.
I'm really excited for next week. After the last couple of weeks that we have been playing, the boys look sharp, and I think they still are hungry for another win, to get, into that winning season talk, because, 28 years of consecutive winning seasons, this is a perfect opportunity next week for that to happen. And you talk about Bearcat Stadium, it's going to be rocking, it's going to be loud, and with the momentum too. I think that this will be such a fun game to be at, and a great chance for the Bearcats for another win.
Yeah, you sat there and talked about that 28-game series, and the Bearcats have only lost once, and it came last year on September 7th. So you kind of look at it's been over a year since they've played each other, but the Bearcats really couldn't get the ball rolling, and they scored a touchdown in the first, and then were held scoreless until late in the fourth, where they fell ultimately 33-13. So you kind of look at that. What are the Bearcats going to have to do against this ranked Emporia State team who seems to be finding their way to finish games correctly?
When you get against teams that can manage a game down to the last couple of minutes, and I think that starting fast like we did against Missouri Southern just yesterday, starting fast and for the defense to step up and do their job, because whenever you get an offense that starts fast and kind of continues that momentum throughout the whole game, defense does their job, ball game goes right. So each player just needs to do their job well, and also I think the boys need to go out there and have fun, because I think without the pressures that have been having on them yesterday, I got to see a lot of my guys on the football team. They were having fun out there in the fourth quarter and stuff, but so just to go out there, have fun, do their jobs, I think it'll go just our way.
We come into this game 2-2, and Emporia State undefeated. And so my real question for you, Jackson, are we considered the underdogs going into this game? I know Emporia State's ranked, but it's in Bearcat Stadium, arguably one of the most hostile environments in the MIAA, if not Division II. And so are the Bearcats really the underdogs in this one?
Heck no, we're not the underdogs in this next upcoming game. I think the Bearcats have everything on the table they need. It's family weekend. It's going to be packed and loud. You just talked about Bearcat Stadium being the most hostile environments. When that thing gets sold out, it can be so hard for the opposing team to come in and play. And like I said, family weekend, and in the winning streak that's been happening, people are going to want to come and see this Bearcat football team next weekend. And the way we've been playing, 59-0 coming out there, beating a tough Missouri Southern team. We look at other teams going into Missouri Southern, and even like Pitt State let Missouri Southern score 17 points, and we didn't let Missouri Southern score any. So if you're going to ask me, I don't think Northwest Missouri State is the underdog coming into home into Bearcat Stadium and on the streak that we've been on. Heck no, Wiley Ray. I don't think this is an underdog game for the Bearcats.
You really look at how Emporia State they got handed a win, I would say, off of a big error by the Griffins when they faced at home, and kind of looking at that game, it's like, man, what's Northwest got to do to win this game? But you also look at the same thing where Emporia State has been able to finish those games late in the game, and Northwest just has to sit there and take those opportunities when they arise and get that win. But as we wrap up this week's edition of Bearcat Update, our reporter Jaden Varner is going to preview next week's Bearcat schedule. Take it away, Jaden.
Thank you, Jason. And Wiley, that football game was insane. Hopefully we can get a big win next week. Hello and welcome to the first episode of Next Week in Bearcat Sports. I'm Jaden Varner, and I'm going to be keeping you informed on all Bearcat sports all season long. So let's kick it off with football. They won big in Joplin yesterday, 59-0, and proven to 2-2 after starting the year 0-2. They look to keep that streak alive as next Saturday they come home to face Emporia State, who is 4-0 on the season. I'm hoping for a Bearcat win and predict a 35-31 victory for the Bearcats. Look for the passing game to be a big factor for Saturday. Women's tennis will be in Oklahoma today for the ITA Regionals. The next matchup for them will be the ITA Nationals October 10th to the 13th. These will be what determine the rankings for when the season starts in the spring. So good luck to them. Women's soccer will be in St. Joe Wednesday to take on Missouri Western. The Bearcats are 2-1-3 so far. The 2 wins have been away, so hopefully they can keep that streak alive and get a nice win against Mo West. In the volleyball world, they'll be taking on Washburn Friday night at 6 p.m. here in Maryville, as well as Emporia State on Saturday night. Volleyball is 6-4 this season and are coming off back-to-back wins in the Upper Iowa Tournament. Abby Brunson and Olivia Durr are the key factors to watch for this. Make sure to go out and support them along with all Bearcat sports. This has been Next Week in Bearcat Sports. I'm Jaden Varner.
Thanks, Jaden. But that's all the time we have for today. I'm your host, Jason Holland, and this has been Bearcat Update, the provider of complete coverage of Northwest sports. We are live every Sunday at 1 p.m., and you can find us on YouTube at KNWT TV. As well as Bearcat Update, you can watch all of KNWT TV's other content as well. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back in no time.